Hello to everyone. I hope that everyone is doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. I wanted to come on really quickly and to encourage us and or discourage us from allowing our children, or this is what we should do. This is my suggestion, is that we be sure that we encourage or teach our children and or grandchildren not to jump into the car with anyone. People, even people who are familiar to us, it could be our neighbors, it could be our friends, it could be I'm sorry, it could be school faculty, people that they, from people from someone from community centers, people that we are familiar with, grown ups that we are familiar with, and or our children know that we are familiar with, and they are also possibly familiar with them. Please teach your children not to jump in the car with them, not to be alone with them, because that is very crucial. Because these people who prey on children are grooming children and the like. But it is really good that they do not be alone with individuals, because it is a setup, potentially a setup for them to be molested, to be raped, to be accosted in some way, shape, or form. We have to be very, very careful with that, because it's just that, even grown ups should not just jump in a car with another person. It's best not to be alone. Like a lot of people, they go out with people, dates, new people or whatever. Even people who we know, it's a good thing, especially if it's an opposite sex situation, not to be alone with those people. Remember, and the reason why I'm saying this is because there have been times when I was a youth, when I was a very young teenager, that we had a neighbor, and for some, he would give me rides when he really didn't have to. I can't remember the the where we would go or whatever, but nonetheless, it was very foolish because I had known the person. I was very familiar with the person. The person lived directly next door to us. I, as a very young child, because my siblings would have, they needed to be at school at a certain time. My parents needed to be at work at a certain time. So I couldn't be home alone. So I had to go next door to their house in every morning, most mornings, so that I can just stay there with someone, in order for me to, so that I can go to school later, because our schedules were different. My parents' siblings and my school schedule was different. They all, left very early, and I still, but it was out of times when school started at 9 and 9:30, not this early stuff that they have to be at school now. So nonetheless, and so I've known them, since I was very young or whatever, and so I'm familiar with them. But yeah, so he wound up, he would, give me rides, like, but it seemed like it would be very short distances. Nonetheless, he started molesting me. Let's just put it that way. He started touching me, you know. And of course, he's somebody I'm familiar with, somebody that you wouldn't think about someone doing something to you, although, anyway, my whole neighborhood has tried it. All males of all ages have tried it. So that's another thing. Be very be leery of anyone. Be watchful of everyone. You know, don't think, Oh, that person could not do that because I hear that so much. Oh, this person, yes, they can. Are they human? Do they have a pulse? Are they breathing? Everybody has the potential to do anything, and that's why I don't trust anyone because someone can do anything, especially if they do not have the spirit of God in them, within them. Okay, especially if they are not born again, a born again follower of Christ Jesus, and have no fear of God. Mm-mm, no way. So just be careful with that. Just tell your children, no matter if they're late, because my problem was I would be late. I was very new to the middle school scheduling, and I wasn't used to it, and so I would be late and blah yada yada yada. So, but yeah, he would be doing that, and yeah. So just be careful with that. Just be careful, no matter who they are. If they're your moms, yeah, I didn't mean to say that. If they're your boyfriend, your girlfriend, even them, don't if they're not the parent of your child or your grandchild, because even them we have to watch. But if they're not the parent of your grandchild, teach them, don't get in the car with people, or don't be alone with individuals, whether it's getting a ride from them or just any kind of being alone. Try to avoid being alone. Because I've always taught my boys this, don't be alone with any girl because, anything can happen. And they could, and because, and anybody could accuse you of anything. But and if you don't have a witness, you might really be going down because it's the girl's lie over your truth, you know, or vice versa. So just be careful with that. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye bye for now.